So today we'll be starting with essay class. Essay classes, I think there are around 8 or 9 classes, I'm not sure. So from essay till ethics till 11th July, I will be taking up. And just for this section, class timing will be 2 to 4:30, right? Okay. So to understand about essay, first today we'll talk about what is the general syllabus. Plus, we will talk about structure of essay. Then our, classes after this will be focused on your essay writing, where first you will be doing the brainstorming and then there will be a discussion about it. Before that, I'll give you examples, we'll discuss. But our style will be that in class itself, you write the essay on the given topic and then I will be discussing what is the correct way. Before that, obviously, we'll talk about how to write, what is the structure, which things to do, which things to avoid. We'll be doing everything with respect to that, right? So this will be our basic structure about how the classes will go on. And now here in essay writing, we will be discussing previous year questions also. Previous year questions are very important because this will tell us which topics are repetitive in nature, which are being asked more, which areas essay topics are less. So all these things we'll talk about in the classes, right? And plus we'll do new topics too. Right? Okay. So first we'll see what does the syllabus talks about essay. Seeing the syllabus is very important when it comes to any subject, even when you're doing GS subjects also. Because syllabus gives you a direction that if I'm preparing for something, in which direction I should be going, what are they expecting out of me? Generally, if you start writing essay, you start doing certain subjects, it will serve no purpose because we need to prepare in accordance with syllabus or what is the expectation of UPSC from us as an aspirant. Now, first thing is they have clearly given 7 topics around which they will be asking questions. Now, this part, current affairs, it is now very huge. It actually covers everything. Right? Current affairs can be from politics also, economics also, environment also. So even if they would not have given any topic, other 6 topics, this is itself is a huge thing. So a takeaway from here is that whatever news has been there at least in the last 1 to 1.5 years, you need to have a base in it, right? Now the news can be with respect to governance, it can be international relations, it can be about economy, and when I'm talking about governance, they can directly, with respect to a scheme, they might ask you something, with respect to some new law or bill, they might ask. Right? Then there can be news with respect to science and tech, although it is not given separately, so any science related news. Now if they are asking about artificial intelligence, you cannot say that okay, science is not given here. They will not ask the question. AI is something which has been in news over the years. So keeping an eye on news is very important. Now what you can do that okay, 1.5 year is there, pick up any current affair magazine. right? I would suggest you that Vision IAS, it releases Mains 365 magazine. You go on Vision IAS website, go to the resources section, and then I think by next 20 days or 15 days they'll release Mains 365, which is last 1 year's news. And why mains only? Because they would have done an analysis on different topics. So go through that last 1 year's magazine, collect few topics that these have been in news and these can become your essay topics, right? Although, I'll just show you in next few classes how we will be covering. So I have already prepared a list kind of thing, right? With respect to current affairs, you'll get this document. With respect to socio-political issues, I have divided into different themes, and probable topics, I have already marked it out, right? But still, from your side also, there might be sometimes a news which I might have felt this is very easy, not worthy a discussion or a topic, but for you it might be difficult. So just go through that 1 year's Mains 365 document and go through the topics. Anyhow, we'll come back to this. So current affairs, you have to cover that, then socio-political issues, polity-related things, right? Or your governance-related topics with respect to democracy. All these things are constitution-related things. These can come in socio-political issues. So first, our job will be to do and essay classes will also be going in this manner only. We'll do topic wise, right? Current affairs, socio-political, then socio-economic. So all economy and economy-based essays, we'll divide it according to the sectors of economy. We'll do certain essays on agriculture, we'll do certain essays on industry, on service sector, so that we cover our bases. Now they can ask any question on agriculture, but we have already discussed certain material on it. We have already discussed a topic, so you will be able to write something about it, right? Then environment issues, very important. So with respect to climate change, global warming, environmental pollution, degradation, we will be discussing all these things in the class. We'll try to cover all the bases when it comes to essay classes. Next is cultural and historical aspects. So more related to our cultural heritage, which might be with respect to protection of heritage or general, art, architecture, dance forms. We'll see what type of essays can come out of cultural and historical aspects. Then issues related to civic awareness and reflective topics. Now these are the two topics because some of you might be preparing for TGPSC also. These two topics are something which are there, mostly the topics which are being asked, it is an APPSC. So about our civic awareness, about our duty or reflective topics in the form of certain quotes, right, which requires reflection or they want you to reflect on your life related event or something like that can be there. So now your job from now onwards is that if you're reading newspaper, you come across any news article which is related to either socio-political issue or general current affairs or environment or science and tech also. You keep on collecting some material about it, right? Now, because the topics which they are testing your essay skills, these are overlapping with there is an overlap with your other GS syllabus. So a takeaway from here is that source remains your GS knowledge. You don't have to do something extra here. If you have GS knowledge and you know how to structure your essay, you will be able to write an essay. You don't need to read any separate book about essay. which is not required because you can see the topics are directly newspaper based, GS based, so you don't have to go beyond it. So if once you have started with GS subject, you just have to add on to your knowledge in your essay. That's it, right? So source remains your GS knowledge, but you can collect examples. You can collect quotes, right? Say for example, when we talk about environmental issues, there's one very uh, nice quote which says that for Earth we do not have any plan B because there is no planet B. Right? That we have only this one planet, so we cannot think of planet B. Whatever we have to do is we have to save this Earth only. So now imagine you including such quotes in your essay. Your essay will become more impactful. Examiner will understand that this person, he knows, a lot about these subjects, right? Although I will also give you a list of quotes we will discuss in class too, but from your side, now on, because essay has started, keep a sharp eye when you are reading newspaper or you're reading any current affair magazine, or you come across some quote with respect to democracy, politics, or economic situation, or any current affair related, and if you feel this could have be used somewhere, just make your small notes where you can just write these important quotes. And I'm not saying you have to go overboard with the quotes that you collect 100 quotes. No, just topic wise, 2 or 3 quotes would be more than enough, right? Okay. Now, next important thing is we have to know what APPSC is expecting out of us, right? And they have given, usually people miss out syllabus of essay. They will never see the syllabus. Essay means writing in 800 words. 4 essays will come. No, you have to see what they have written there, because it's not exactly syllabus. You can see certain directions have been given to you. Your marking will be according to this. This is their expectations when they see the essay. This is how they will be testing you, and they will be evaluation. They've given 2 things: areas of testing, evaluation and marking, right? So we will see this point by point. First point, they are saying that when we are reading your essay, we are seeing ability to compose a well-argued piece of writing, right? So proper argumentation has to be there. Now, what does argumentation stands for? That when you are giving any point of view, you need to support it with proper evidence and data. Certain examples have to be there. Right? Say for example, if I put across an argument that this institution is good for your APPSC coaching, that's an argument, and that will become a well-argued piece only if I give evidence that okay, this so and so person has cleared exam, this person has got a rank. Otherwise, it's just a statement which holds no value. Well-argued piece of writing will always be when your arguments are supported with examples. Whether you are writing essay on political issue, whether you are writing on economic issue, I'll make you write it down, don't worry. All the description we'll write down. See, for essays, there are no notes. But understanding these things will make your essay get good marks. Because otherwise there are no pointers per se. Other subjects, if you see pick up anything, you pick up history, etc., we're given you subtopics. Here there are only instructions, and instructions we have to understand. Most of the people miss this out. Just directly start writing essay. You have to get it into the mind of APPSC examiner setter and also the person who will be evaluating, because evaluator will get the same instructions, right? So when you are writing essay, examples or evidences in the form of data, you have certain statistics, or there is some news has come up, or some committee report has come up, you need to have that particular evidence with you. Otherwise, it is just a statement. It's not a well-argued piece of writing, right? Say, for example, people, usually now you see nowadays, there's a lot of news coming up which talks about, say, a few months back, there was a news about women, she committed suicide because of dowry demands, Tusha Sharma, right? And now, just yesterday, there was a news where there was a news with respect to where a fiance has pushed her to-be husband off some hill or something, and he died because she didn't want to marry him, so she killed him. So now in this perspective, whenever we start talking about women issues, people will come up with an idea that, look, this person has killed her husband or something like that, which is fine, yes. During last few years and last few months also, there have been lot of cases where women have been killing their husbands, their fiancés, their boyfriends, their partners, and we are seeing this news, right? Now people will, whenever there will be a women issue that, okay, dowry related death is there, instead of sympathizing, instead of looking at the problem, people start saying that, look, this woman has also killed her husband now. Now this turns into a whataboutery rather than looking for a solution. That what about that? What about that? Now, if you are a person of knowledge and if you have data with you, you can shut that person up. How? Because in the last 5 years, 785 husbands or partners have been killed by women, right? And around 500 to 700 women are killed every day because of this. Compare the difference. And we are not saying husbands who lost their life is less or something. It's more of an individual issue. This is more of a system issue, a women issue, where the numbers is in lakhs. And we are not trivializing that a man dying is not a big issue. Yes, it is a big issue, but it is not a system problem. Here it is a system problem, where there is a society where women is being killed for dowry, for not cooking food properly, acid attack, for just saying no to marriage proposal, because patriarchy is there behind it. Now, to argue this point, you need data. Otherwise, you keep on shouting, no, women are killed, more men are. Where is the data? I need data. If you have data with you, you can argue your point. Or if you have an example, you can argue it. We need to validate the argument which we are giving. Validation is very, very important in your essays. Validation proves that this person is not saying, pulling things out of thin air. He's supporting it with an example, with some data. And that is why this essay is a well-argued piece of writing. Right? Yes, am I clear here? What do they mean by it? So when you're writing your essay, examples become very, very important. Write down a few things about it so that you keep in mind. First point, write down ability to compose a well-argued piece of writing. Ability to compose a well-argued piece of writing. Write down its meaning. Your essay should not merely your essay should not merely describe things, should not merely merely describe things, but it should present an argument, but it should present an argument with reasons, but it should present an argument with reasons, evidence, examples, and logic. Reasons, evidence, examples, and logic. Right? Next line, write down. A good essay answers. A good essay answers. Write down first point. Why do you think so? Why do you think so? Question mark. Second point. What evidence supports your view? What evidence supports your view? Third, are there any opposing views? Are there any opposing views? Right? So this is what a essay, a well-argumented essay stands for. Arguments have to be there, and not just in support of it. You can have counter arguments also. Right? So your essay should look like that whatever point of view you are presenting, you're not just writing it randomly. You have points to prove it also. Right? Yes, are we clear here? Any doubt? Okay. Now second point which UPSC says is ability to express coherently and sequentially. Very important point. Right? So ideas which you are writing, they should have proper flow, proper sequence. They should not be random in nature. Look, or if you would have read editorials in newspaper. When you read those editorials, there is a proper flow. Flow is that they discuss about one point very nicely, end that particular thing and then move on to the next. Or if they are criticizing something, they will criticize at one point and probably in some time they want to give some argument with support of it, it will be in the second paragraph. There is a proper order is there is a proper coherence is there. Each paragraph is connected with each other. It is not random in nature. So when we are writing essay, one of the major problem with students come is connectivity. Flow is not there. And that is your, point where they are testing you. When we are talking about essay, each paragraph has to be connected with next paragraph. The points which you are writing, there has to be a proper sequence in it. It should not be that first point is positive argument, next is negative, then again positive, then again negative. There is no sequence, and they have mentioned it very clearly, coherently and sequentially. There has to be a sequence in your arguments. Say, for example, you are discussing about, say, they asked you about reservations for women in legislature. So first you discuss what are these reservations. And then once that is complete, then you discuss the need for it. When need for reservation for women is done, then you discuss the advantages of this. Once advantages are done, then you discuss the disadvantage. And once disadvantages are over, then you discuss what is the way forward. It should not be like that. One line is advantage, next is disadvantage, then you're criticizing it, then next line you're telling the significance. It means your thoughts are not in a proper manner. They're haphazard. Whatever is coming to your mind, you're just writing it. Which again takes us to the point where brainstorming before writing full-length essay is very important. Recite the sequence. Before you write an essay, very quickly, roughly on the question paper, or there will be a blank sheet given, quickly write down what sequence you will follow. The first I will discuss this, next this, next this, next this. Essays, major thing is that because you are writing words more than you will be writing in GS, 800 words you have to write down. Now in these 800 words, proper sequence is very important. And this is you consider it as a literary piece of writing. This is not your GS technical answer that you will give heading, write 4 points and then move on to next. No. Properly, the all paragraphs have to be weaved in. It's like a necklace which is connected. The pearls are connected with each other. And then together it forms a beautiful necklace. So your essay is like this. Forget about your answer writing. That's a different thing. Your essay writing is more like expressing your thoughts. GS is more description based, technical way. You give headings, write in points. One thing you have to remember here, although it's one thing you should also be knowing, essay should never be written in points. Essay is always in paragraph. It's the unwritten rule. Always and always in paragraph. You'll never find an editorial in newspaper in points. Will you ever find a novel or a book in points? No. Essay is also same thing. Whenever you express yourself, I'm not saying when you're writing answer, when you're expressing yourself, essay is a form of creative writing. You're pouring in all your thoughts, whatever you think about that particular thing, everything you're writing in those words. So here, you have to write in proper, well-connected and coherent paragraphs, never in points. I repeat this in every essay class, UPSC, TGPSC, UPSC, still there will be students who will come up with points. No, that's a wrong approach. Structure of essay is never in points. Now in between, sometimes some people want to use headings. That you can use, but don't overdo it. Here and there, one or two headings which you feel you can give, and they're innovative in nature. And I'm not saying headings like advantage, disadvantage. Proper headings like, okay, you're writing about, probably artificial intelligence, right? And you want to write down that there are advantages and disadvantages. Probably you can give a heading, AI, a double-edged sword. Like this headings, more creative headings you can write down. I'll give you a list of creative headings also. Right, as we move forward, we'll keep on adding to some of the content for essay too. But never like causes, types, advantage. That is for GS, not for essay. So usage of headings should be innovative in nature, not like a GS answer heading, right? Okay. So we have to write down in a proper sequence and coherently. Write down this point. Ability to express coherently and sequentially. Ability to express coherently and sequentially. Meaning, ideas should flow. Meaning, ideas should flow naturally. Meaning, ideas should flow naturally. Is my voice fine now? One of you have messaged, I didn't see it. Is the voice fine now or it's still breaking in between? Please, any one of you message if the voice is fine. Okay. So ideas should flow naturally. Full stop. Every paragraph should connect. Every paragraph should connect with the previous one. Every paragraph should connect with the previous one. The reader should never feel lost. The reader should never feel lost. Sometimes we are reading book and we are not attentive while reading book. So what happens is in few seconds we realize and then we go back to the page and then start reading again. So your essay should not be in the sense that, even when examiner is reading, he gets lost, he is not understanding it, and then he has to come back and again read it to understand. That should not happen. That would automatically lead to less marks in essay. Right? Yes, are we clear here? Okay. Just to give you an idea about a good flow, just write down how does a good flow will look like. Say you are writing about women empowerment. So first you will talk about meaning of women empowerment. Then put an arrow, current status in India. Current status in India, put an arrow. Then challenges. Challenges. Then put an arrow, role of society. Role of society. Role of government. Way forward. And then concluding statement. Way forward, concluding statement. So every paragraph answers the next logical question. Right? Now, when we are saying it should be connected with each other, there will be certain transition words like moreover, however, because that will create a connection that, okay, you've written one point about women empowerment and you want to shift to next paragraph, and I am saying it should be connected with each other. Right? So you can use lot of words like in addition to above, right? Moreover, however. So simple one words will help you. These will be known as transition words, will connect the paragraph. They will not be in isolation with each other. There will be certain connectivity with each. Right? Write down, use transition words like, first, moreover, next, furthermore, the next point, however, next point, on the other hand, next point, consequently, next point, therefore, then next, in contrast, next, firstly, secondly, you can use these words also, and you can write down finally, if you're looking at final point, you can write finally. So these will be the connecting words or transitional words which will, maintain coherence. Coherence means systemic consistency type of thing, connectivity kind of things, logical things which are connected with each other. That is a very important need for a good essay, right? Okay. Now, next point which APPSC talks about is awareness of the subject chosen goes without saying. When you're choosing a topic, few students have this habit that they will say, I want to choose a topic, a difficult topic, because no one will be writing about it and I will get more marks. No, that is not the case. Even if you write the most easiest of the essay, you should have full knowledge about it. If you have knowledge about it, even 100 people are writing about it, doesn't matter. Your essay will be checked from your copy, not compared with other person. They have given a topic in the paper and you have all rights to write on it, even if it is the easiest topic. So when you are choosing any topic, say you are choosing from political issues, you're choosing from economic issues or environmental issues, proper knowledge should be there. State exams check your general knowledge about it, how well versed you are with the topic. So if there is a topic about artificial intelligence and you exactly don't know what is artificial, your knowledge is just ChatGPT. That okay, there's something called ChatGPT. That's not knowledge about your artificial intelligence. What is artificial intelligence? What are the models of artificial intelligence? What are the different application areas? How does artificial intelligence work? What are the challenges related to artificial intelligence? What is the way forward? If you don't have knowledge about it, don't pick that topic. In fact, before you go to the exam, try to identify your strong areas. That political issues are my strong areas, economic issues are my strong areas, or whatever. So I will try to attempt more of these topics. Full knowledge is very, very important. Otherwise, how will you write 800 words? It becomes absolutely difficult to elaborate it. In 1 or 2 pages, you will be done with it. You won't know how to write 800 words. 800 words will be around 4 pages, 4.5 or 5 pages, depending upon your font size. So here you need to have full-fledged knowledge about it. Half-hearted knowledge will lead to less marks. They're looking for that a person should be able to do a full 360-degree analysis about that thing. Holistically explaining that topic. He knows in and out of the topic. Not just superficial information. That okay, I know artificial intelligence. Do you know all the things about artificial intelligence? Do you know its all applications? Do you know what are the challenges in the future? If the answer is no, don't attempt it. Similarly, say if they ask about current affairs, Israel-Palestine issue. Do you have full knowledge about it? Do you know the historical background? How it actually started? What is the root cause? And not just information about October 7 event which happened, or not just information about Hamas. What exactly is happening there, or what exactly is the historical background? What UN has proposed in form of two-nation formula? What happened after October 7? Recently, just yesterday only, there was a committee on this Palestine and Israel, and they have declared that yes, it was a genocide. In fact, the person heading it was an Indian. The children were killed, and it was a genocide. Right? So, do you have the full knowledge about that geographical area? Do you understand the geopolitics around that particular thing? Do you understand the religious angle there? An unbiased opinion, not biased opinion. where you pick sides that Israel is right or Palestine is right. Unbiased opinion. That is very important when you write answers also, essay also. You're not a person belonging to a political party or caste or community or gender. Your views have to be neutral in nature. You should be knowing both sides of the argument. So if you're not aware about Israel-Palestine issue and you just have superficial knowledge, please don't attempt it. Because they have clearly written here, awareness of the subject chosen. Whatever topic you're choosing, they're expecting full awareness about in and out of that subject, topic. And if you don't have enough content, please don't choose it. So that is why beforehand, pick up certain areas. Because they're not going to ask, all the 7 topics. Right? There will be repetition of areas also. So now here you can choose that, okay, I'm good with polity or I'm good with environment issue. In depth, do those things, or do you have substantial knowledge about that? And anyhow, if you're doing good with GS preparation, you will have knowledge here too. Right? So have proper knowledge about the subject chosen. Write down awareness of the subject chosen. The examiner wants to know whether you understand the topic. The examiner wants to know whether you understand the topic from multiple dimensions, not just one. The examiner wants to know whether you understand the topic from multiple dimensions, not just one. Full stop. You should demonstrate awareness of put a hyphen and then write down points. You should demonstrate awareness of, first, historical background, second, current developments, constitutional aspects, economic dimensions, social dimensions, ethical concerns, environmental implications, international perspective, future outlook. Right? So these are some dimensions which I've talked about. Essay, they're looking for, again, that you write as many as dimensions. Show the depth of your knowledge. That is why they're asking you, do you have awareness about the topic, whatever you have chosen? So at the end, when you are writing essay, you have to ask yourself that, taking a cue from these 3 points, that have I argued it well? That whatever essay I wrote, did I argue it well with proper evidence, facts, examples? If yes, it means your essay is going in nice direction. Then second, you should ask yourself, have I organized the content in a proper manner, in a connected manner? If the answer is yes, it means your essay is going in the right direction. Then third question you have to ask, that have I, talked about or written about this topic comprehensively, in and out of the subject topic? If the answer is yes, it means your essay is good, right? So in last, write these 3 questions you have to ask yourself. Have I argued well? Under this, write down, present a clear position, present a clear position, justify it with facts, present a clear position, justify it with clear facts. Examples and balanced reasoning. And balanced reasoning. Next question. Have I organized it well? Have I organized it well? Here you will ensure a logical structure. Ensure a logical structure with smooth transitions. Ensure a logical structure with a smooth transition between paragraphs. Ensure a logical structure with smooth transitions between paragraphs. And third question is, did I cover the topic? Did I cover the topic comprehensively? Did I cover the topic comprehensively? So here you have to address all the possible dimensions. Address all the possible dimensions related to the topic. Right? Yes, are we clear here? So these 3 points, these are your areas of testing. When you are writing in the exam, before the exam you are practicing, keep these 3 important things in your mind. Often students ignore this aspect. They just keep on randomly collecting content. I'll collect for social issues or for political issues, for environment issues. That will serve no purpose if you don't know how to write or arrange things. Right? Now next, after area of testing, they have also given points about evaluation and marking. Now here, credit will be given or marks will be given for observing established rules and format for essay writing. They have already told you the format, what they are expecting. Then this is very important. Grammatical correctness of expression. Grammar should not be wrong ever. I am not expecting flowery language like a poet or an author. Simple language. But I expect spellings should be correct. Grammar should not be wrong. Usage of words should be grammatically correct. You should know which first form, second form, what will come after this. So if your grammar goes wrong, it means your basic English is not fine. And your marks will decrease. And I'm not saying you have to use very heavy, very difficult words. Even simple words would do. But grammar should not be wrong. Spelling should not be wrong. And I have seen there is a tendency that because there are a lot of things to be written, spellings go wrong. Or sometimes grammar is too bad. That should not happen. Now, if there is someone who has schooling from, or has been doing in Telugu medium and is writing paper in English medium, you will need some extra practice here to be writing essay in, because I have seen few students, because understanding how to write essay will be a waste if your basic grammar is wrong, basic spellings are wrong. So you will have to give anyone from online section or here, if you have done your studies in Telugu medium, now you will be writing in English and not in Telugu. So please, you put in some extra effort towards correcting your grammar, right? Okay. Now next is originality of thought and expression. Your point of view, your originality, not what ABC person said. So if you are writing in every line, Gandhiji said this, or Mahatma Gandhi, or Swami Vivekanand said this, or Montesquieu has said this, Rose, that is okay, but not overdoing it. This essay is about your thought, not their thought. Their thought is more about validating your points. That you put across an argument and then you want to support it that okay, Gandhiji has also said this particular thing. So you have to maintain originality of thought, not a copied thought process, not naming people again and again. Where is your thought? They have asked you whether AI is a boon or bane, not what Elon Musk thinks about it. What do you think about it? And whatever you think about it, then you can support it with Elon Musk's view base. But your essay should not be entirely about who said what. It's about what you are thinking, not what some random person, philosopher, thinker thinks about it. What is your originality? Your point of view is very, very important here. Examples, quotes, evidences are just validation points. Original thought is yours and it should reflect in your essay. You should not be borrowing those thoughts. You can validate your thoughts, but never borrow those thoughts. So it has to be your point of view, your thought process. What do you think about it? How do you express it? Right? And then lastly, they have talked about 50 marks each, right? And 800 words each. Word limit following is very, very important. Once we are into the classes, you can write essays apart from the class. You can write essays on your own and get it checked while the classes are going on. It will be easier for me also, right? Till the ethics class, I think 11th or 12th, I am here. So you have a lot of time to write essays, write answers, and show it to me. After that, also, you can show there's no problem. But again, I have a very busy schedule from morning till evening. So my availability, I'm not sure. So take advantage of this time when the classes are going on. Take advantage of mentorship. Write answers, write essay, get it checked. Come again and again. Come every day. I have no problem. You can come every day and show an answer. You are much better than anyone who's not writing even a single line. Write a bad essay, write a bad answer, no problem at all. We will improve it together. But till the time you write it, I cannot give my feedback. My feedback will be based on what you have written. I cannot judge you, but just by seeing you that, okay, this person writes a good, you have to show something to me and then I can help you improve it. Improvement comes when you write something. Just by sitting and going through these notes will also serve no purpose. Right? Yes, are we clear here? Any doubt? So these are the basic points or foundational points you should keep in mind before even we talk about how to start an essay, how to include points. First thing which you should be remembering is these basic things that I have to argue well, I have to organize it well, and I have to write different dimensions. And then we'll think about other factors, right? Okay. Now, main thing which comes here is structure of the essay. How do I structure my essay? Now, essay, when we are talking about here is, we can divide it into, first will be your start of the essay. Second part will be, we'll do further classifications also. Main arguments or your main dimensions. Then conclusion or end of your essay. right? Now these will be the three main parts. Now when we are talking about start, or we can call it as that we have to do introduction. Now here introduction, you have to avoid starting it with definition, right? Definition works more, if it's a answer, say for example, there has been a previous year question. Last year only the essay topic was demographic dividend or burden, rethinking population explosion narrative. That was a question which came in your last year's paper. Now here, if you start your essay by defining what is demographic dividend, then it becomes a answer on demographic dividend, not essay. I'm sure you would have you might have been reading articles in newspaper. Do you see them ever starting with definitions? They don't. Or if you read any book, any novel, any author, does he start with certain definitions? No. Definition is something you do it in your answers. Essay is a literary piece. Again and again, I'm saying this. This is your thoughts which you are putting on paper. This is not some technical descriptive answer. So please don't start your answers with your definitions. It can come later on when you'll explain the concept. But first, how do you start with? One way of starting is if you have a relevant quote. You can start with a particular quote. It creates a good starting of your essay. Say you have some good quote about demographic dividend, or there was say there was some question on your AI. You have some good quote about AI. You can start from there, right? Now, other than that, the other easier way would be give certain premise. Premise means in the in a lot of books you would have seen there is a preface is there before the books actually starts. So they give general context about the things. Say we are talking about demographic dividend. You generally talk about how population is there, how human civilization since long, there has been an increase in population, your quality of population is very important, so that you slowly come out towards the idea of demographic dividend. Do not just at the first point start defining demographic dividend. Give some premise, give some context. Start from discussing population wise that okay, population increase or population quality has been a question since a long time. Quality of population decides what kind of economic growth will be there, what kind of individuals will be there, whether the nation will progress or not. Just give some context, just give some premise, right? Say for example it is about women reservations. You do not start with women reservation definition that women reservation is giving them reserved seats in the legislature so that they can be MP, MLAs, etc. You start with a premise that since the dawn of time, women have been, they have not been given enough representation and participation in political matters. They have remained a gender which has not been a part of decision making since the longest time. The policies which are being framed there, 50% of the population is missing. Their point of view is missing, their thoughts are missing, their needs are missing. Give a little bit of premise. And I'm not asking you to write full page or something. Just a small paragraph. Somebody is asked how many lines in one paragraph. See, there's no hard and fast rule, but paragraph is usually little less than half a page, right? You can even write smaller paragraph than that. There is no rule about it. Just ensure whatever point you are discussing fits into that one paragraph, and then you change the next paragraph. Sometimes one point might prolong to two paragraphs also. Now, these are minute things, you will have to take care of it. These are just depends upon your writing style and your way of writing things. So there is no way. And obviously, 2 lines is not a paragraph. At least 4 lines is the minimum requirement. After that, you want to write it in 5 lines, 6 lines, 7 lines, 8 lines, your choice. But obviously, 1 line I will not call a paragraph, 2 lines also I will not get paragraph. 4 lines minimum makes a paragraph, right? How can we submit essays to you for feedback? You will have to ask the person who's taking care of APPSC, he'll forward it to me. Or what you can do is Telegram, you can just message me. Any issue you have, anything you want to talk about, please message on Telegram. If in case I miss it by 1 or 2 days, please re-message again. And please, whenever you're submitting your passages or you have any issue, write down what do you want, right? Sometimes students just send hi or hello, so I don't know how can I help that person. So no hi, hello messages, tell that, okay, this is my name, I am from this batch, this is my problem, right? Or this is my essay which I have written, please check it, right? Offline students, you already have an option, you just after the class, you can come and show it to me. Okay. Now, here you give a premise. Premise you have given, you generally talked about what is the situation. You are slowly moving towards the topic. You are not just jumped into things. Right? Now, another way is if you are comfortable, you can write an anecdote also. Anecdote is a small story, small account, a fictional story or a non-fictional story, which you can write at the start of your essay. So you have 3-4 options. As we will discuss different essay topics, I will say, for example, whatever essay topics we are discussing, I'll give you I will dictate you all the 3-4 types, how the same essay can be introduced or started in these 3 manners. Now it is your wish. You want to start it with a story, you want to start it with a context type of paragraph, or you want to start it with a quote. It's your wish. Whatever you are comfortable with, each of the 3 way is fine. Now, some of the students will come up that does anecdote work in APPSC or TGPSC. Yes, it does work. There have been students of mine who have scored good marks. In fact, because state exams are similar only. In fact, in TGPSC, one of the highest scorer, he was the student here only. And, I have his notes and essays, whatever he has written, he has done the same thing in the mains exam. And he was one of the top scorer in essay. So it works. Because essay, when we are writing it, we are not writing an answer, so we never start with a definition. So if it's an essay on secularism, communalism, you don't start it with definition. Choose any of the option. Right? Yes, are we clear here? And as we move forward, I'll dictate you. Whatever essay topic we'll discuss, I'll give you 3 options. I will dictate you all 3 things. That how anecdote can be written here, how can you give a premise, and how can you introduce the same essay with a quote. Don't worry about that, right? Okay. Now comes the main argument or dimensions or body of this. Here maximum marks lie here.
Ma'am, can we start with a fact?
Fact like
you said, women reservation. Can we write like 32%?
Yeah, that can form the part of premise only. That you have started with the data and you start elaborating it. Start asking questions about it. Do we really feel that this is fair to women after you have written that data, etc., you can start with this. There was one student who used to start with something like a newsline heading, right? And then elaborate it. That is also fine. So basically, when it's saying that have novelty of thought, expression, lot of things depends upon you. When we are talking about essay writing, one thing which should be clear is that there will be two types of students, right? One type of students, their writing skills are already good, right? Some people are genuinely, because they have been good in school, colleges, their writing skills are good. They have an aptitude for writing, right? So now these students, they have to focus more on content collection, that okay, do I have quotes, do I have dimensions? Then there will be second type of students whose writing skills are not that well developed, who don't know how to connect things, who don't know how to articulate things. But these people will need a lot of practice, right? And it's okay, right? Because see, everybody doesn't have every kind of aptitude. Just that the second type, where you're not comfortable with writing 800 words or your writing skills are not that great, just practice more. If other people are writing 5 essays, you aim for 10 essays, 11, and it will improve. Definitely, it will improve. Only way to improve in your mains exam is to practice more and get it checked also. If you are just sitting at home and writing things and nobody to check, so no one can tell you is it right or wrong. We have to practice, but practice in a right way. So that might take, it might take some time, but it's okay. And these people, and then you have the second type of people will have to focus on content also and also improving their writing skills. These people, you just have to focus on your content part. You are your best judge at how you write things or how you have been writing, right? Okay, coming back to here, body of the essay. Now, as the syllabus also suggests, they are looking for dimensions. A holistic approach towards the topic. They want you to discuss the in and outs of it, everything about that particular essay topic, right? So what you can do is, here, any topic which comes, say one previous year question was on Chinese aggression in India. It's a PYQ question, right? In APPSC, I think it was in 2022, 2020, I think. Yes, 2020. So there you can start this, when you come on the body of the essay, you can start with the historical background. So see, even artificial intelligence has a historical background, right? Even if you talk about India and China, we had a historical background. There was a time during, Pandit Nehru's time where he had a lot of hope and trust on China. When the talks of Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai was there, that was the dialogue. So you give the historical background. Even you can go even further also, that civilizationally also, China and India and civilization, they have been connected through trade, through the Silk Route. You can write that thing also. So if you think a little deeper, say if there is a topic on democracy, even democracy has a historical background. You can start from that earliest conception of democracy was in Greece civilization. Greeks were the first to think about that certain power can go to the people and they can select their candidates. So any topic is there, right? Even when, they're talking about, I'll just pick up an example here. Like this, there is a question about three language formula under national education policy. So you talk about historical background when there were protests, right, about the three language thing, when the southern states were not comfortable that English was ending to be the official language and they feared that Hindi will come up. This was back in 1960s, right? Or you can even go back to the state reorganization which happened on language. If you think a little hard, every topic will have some context related to its history. So you have to write 800 words and they are expecting you to write lot of dimensions. One of the dimension is discussing about its background. Any topic. Everything has a background. Everything has a history. Israel-Palestine, it has a history. Write about it. Israel-Palestine history goes back to Balfour Declaration. Balfour Declaration was given by Britishers, which was an invitation for Jews all over the world to come and make that area their homeland. Again, here your knowledge comes in, your GS knowledge comes in. So when they are expecting you to have a good knowledge base of the topic, first way how to get that, you discuss its historical background. Any topic. Think about it, and there might be a possibility that for some topics there are no historical background, but very rare. Say, for example, one topic was about the capital of Andhra or something. There also you can write a little bit about it, right? But again, everything will have certain historical background that will become one dimension of your discussion in the essay, right? Now, other possible dimensions can be features of something. So see, whatever dimensions I'm discussing here, these are not exhaustive in nature. Exhaustive means that only these points will be there in your essay, rest nothing will be there. This is just a thinking tool. That once you see a topic, in which direction your brain should move. That is there any history? Is there any this second point, third point, fourth point, fifth point? And then there might be another points also with respect to that. So you can think about features. That what are the salient features of something? Or describing that particular thing. Like there has been one essay on obesity is a silent pandemic undermining India's public health gains. Right? Now, historical background about obesity you might not have much, but in fact, you can write something in the direction that when we see traditional times, the diet used to be very simple. Physical activity used to be very high. So the lifestyle diseases like obesity was not present. Now, this is also historical background. We used to eat simple sattvic food, lot of physical exercise, no phone screens that we are sitting, no video games that we are sitting inside and not doing any physical activity. The lifestyle was full of activity and food was very simple, simple carbohydrates, easily digested. So that is the historical background where you will tell about that this was not a problem. This is a problem of modern society. When foods have changed, when there is usage of too much oil, when there is usage of too many food compounds which are full of cholesterol and fats, which are not at all simple in nature. One food item is giving you 2000 calories together only, which is like if you eat a burger or something, it's like 1200 1500 calories at 1 second. For 5 minutes you'll eat and you'll consume the calorie demand for your entire day with one burger. But obviously that is not the case. You'll have dinner also, you'll have snacks after that. So where you require 2000 to 2400 calories per day, your one meal itself is 1500 calories, and you're going beyond it. You're eating 5000, 6000 calories every day. Obviously, you will be obese. So you give a historical context in the sense where you talk about traditional society, that it was very simple, food was simple, it was homemade. Concept of big food chains were not there, junk food was not there, concept of fast food was not there. Everything was made in a simple kitchen. This obesity is a problem of modern society. Right? Now, here next you can just shift towards feature. That what do you I mean by obesity? You probably define it in the terms of calorie intake, or general, what is the definition, that your BMI is higher than your, for which is higher than your weight and your height. In comparison to that, your BMI is very high. That is obesity. So you explain the meaning or you give the features, that becomes another concept, another dimension, sorry, for your essay. That is how step by step you will keep on writing things about it. Because if you randomly start writing without thinking that which dimension will come first, which will come second, which will come third, in 2 pages you will exhaust everything. You won't be able to think beyond it. Right? Okay. Then after you have written features of something or meaning of something, salient features, there is a possibility that in some essays you can write about probably cause of something, right? Say, let's take example of obesity only. Why obesity is increasing? One is our diet has increased. Then your life has become very fast. Your family has working women who are working outside, who do not have time to cook at home. Then your junk food are also cost effective. You go outside for 50 rupees, in fact it's very strange. You go to a grocery market, right? There buying healthy foods are more expensive. 30-40 rupees you'll get a plate of momos, but never healthy food for 30-40 rupees. You pick up a organic flour, organic fruits, they're priced much higher. So why people are going for more junk food, which is leading to obesity? It's cost effective. It's cheaper, right? So that is why people are getting, and time is not there to cook meals from scratch. System of family has changed. Women are no longer just working in the kitchen, they're going out and working, they don't have time. So for them, going out or having ready to eat meals which are not healthy, that is increasing. Then it's a fast lifestyle. Time for exercise, fitness is not there. Screen times have increased. People enjoy more sitting, scrolling reels on phones rather than going out and taking a walk. So all of these are causes when it comes to obesity. Discuss them in detail. Have some data with you. Right? They'll share essay on this topic, obesity. Once the class is over, you have a group, Telegram or WhatsApp group for APPSC. You don't have a group. Where do you get the timing change or something like that? It's announced in class. Okay, I'll ask them to make one group. They'll share one sample essay. Every day, 1 or 2 sample essays will be shared with you. Most of them we'll discuss in class. The rest, full length essay, I will share it on the group. I'll ask them to make one. So here you elaborate the causes. At least half a page or 1 page you can just dedicate to cause only. Right? Then in some essays, not in obesity essay obviously, you might discuss about importance or significance of something. Say it's about India-China relations. You can discuss what is the significance of China for us. Like I said, all points will not be present in every essay. This is just a thinking tool that you think in this direction. Some will be hits and some will be misses. That depends upon you, right? And depends upon the topic, of course. So some areas you might have to write down about significance or importance of something. I'm writing in points just for your understanding. When you write the actual essay, points will not come. This is just for your understanding. So here you can write down about significance, importance, or even sometimes impact, consequences of something. What is the consequence of obesity? You can discuss it. What will happen with obesity? Cardiovascular diseases, right? Not being able to maintain normal life, right? You will have problem in mobility. Everybody, somebody has to help you every time. So all these things, what are the impact? What are the consequences? You can write it there. And then, when you are thinking about causes or even significance, you can use this framework, PESTLE also, to think that is there any political cause, is there any economic cause, social cause, technological, legal, environmental, even for significance also. Our aim here is to generate points, more and more dimensions, more and more points, more in and out discussion about obesity. That when because I'm taking the example of obesity, when I ask you about obesity, you should not just stop at telling out what is obesity. I want you to know what are the causes of obesity, what is the impact of obesity, right? Even in some essays, types might be there, like AI topic. There is weak AI, there is strong AI. Two models are there, and there are other further models of AI too. So you can discuss types also. What is the arrangement of these points? That will depend upon what kind of essay topic is there. But your thinking will more or less be around this, or might be other additions, other dimensions. Right? Now this part where you will be discussing most of these things, we will call it as thesis of essay. Where you are just describing the things. Cause, what is the type, what is the significance, what is the importance, more positive tone. Next part will be antithesis. Sometimes the topic will be negative in nature, like obesity, there is no positive thing about obesity. So thesis is antithesis, it's same only. But some essays, you'll have to give the opposite part also. Like if you are discussing about, this is body of essay only, we'll just continue. We're discussing about India and China. And you have already talked about what is the significance of China, what are our historical backgrounds, right? You have discussed about importance of it, right? Why our relationships are important. Now that is one side. There is another side also of Chinese aggression. What are the areas of conflict? How China has been regularly changing the maps, right? Here you can use good words like, the term for China claiming a lot of parts of Arunachal as their own, that is known as cartographic aggression, aggression on the map. Right? Or other things with respect to, trying to encircle India through string of pearls theory. A lot of things are there. That is the other part of the dimension, the negative part. antithesis part, right? Here you write down basically your criticism of something or challenges or drawbacks. So if you're discussing about, say, women reservations, in the first part, you've discussed what are the features, what is the significance, why do we need it, what is its importance. So you've discussed, you've given a very nice picture that yes, women reservation is very important. But that is just one side. There is certain criticism also. Criticism in the form that, okay, even if we give reservation, normal women will not benefit out of it. Mostly the women who will be elected as legislatures, they will be from either political dynasty families or rich upper class, upper caste women. We are not expecting that suddenly a common housewife will become a MP. That will not happen. You need money and connections to win elections. You can't win, a housewife cannot win. So it will be more like continuation of that power. In panchayats, have you heard about word sarpanchpati? Sarpanchpati is a term used that women is the sarpanch. She has used, but the proxy sarpanch is husband only. Same can happen here too. That somebody's wife, somebody's sister becomes a MP, MLA, but the power is with the man of the house, either husband or brother or father, whatever. So there is a criticism to reservations too. That only reservations are not enough. Then when we are talking about India, where there is high levels of illiteracy, and when we are living in a patriarchal society where women have no exposure, how can they be effective legislatures? We will be needing certain bridge courses for them. We will be needing certain information about how things work, because we're talking about women who have for the longest time are in homes only and suddenly they become a public figure. How will this transition happen? So every point or every topic which you discuss, there will always be an opposite side to it. It's not that everything is good about something. Always there will be some criticism, some challenge, some drawback. Something will be there with respect to that. Our job is to, as an aspirant who is writing an essay, our job is to talk about everything possible about that subject. Everything under the sun. Not even one point should be left. It should be like there is no question unanswered in your essay. From A to Z, you have given everything about women reservation. Why it is there, why it is important, how it will look like, what is its significance, where all it is there. You can previously talk about panchayats also. And then you talk about the other side, that these are the drawbacks, these will be the challenges. So that you discuss everything about the topic, even if it's about obesity, Chinese aggression, or if it is talking about, with respect to state reorganization or Andhra Pradesh's capital city or water crisis, whatever. Everything should be included about it. It should not be a half-cooked essay that you just discuss 2-3 points and then you have ended the essay. Every possible discussion about it. So if I ask you about, if I start explaining, say, any random topic, when I explain it in class, I just don't have to, my job doesn't end at giving you the meaning of it. I have to explain everything, types, causes, significance. Same thought process comes in essay. That you explain everything possible about it. If it's about democracy, explain everything about it. Now, obviously, essay topics will not be one word that write an essay on democracy, write on obesity. There will be full sentence. And based on that sentence, your dimensions will fall. But again, every time you have to make sure that if it is a thesis, if you are giving a picture, its opposite stance is very important. That needs to be compulsorily included in your essay. Otherwise, your essay remains incomplete. By this, we fulfill what they expect out of it, that have knowledge or have awareness about the topic which you have chosen. Not just 1 or 2 points you know. Absolute knowledge about it, then only you can write 800 words. Right? Now, this completes the body of your essay. Last comes our conclusion part. Conclusion we will divide into two parts. In first part, we will include half page or 1 page of what has to be the future approach or way forward or solutions. Right? And then last will be your concluding statement where we give closure to your essay, which again can either be a summary, one line summary, or you can again end it with a quote too. Your wish. If you have some quote which looks good at the end, that also can be included in your essay. With this, we draw a kind of a full circle. We started with a premise or a story, anecdote, or a quote. We gave its historical background. We discussed each and every possible dimension about it. We discussed the opposite side of arguments too. We gave examples, we gave evidences, we gave data. Then we gave what is the way forward. What can be done. Here you can even, if there is some topic, if there are steps which are already in place, some government initiative or something, you can discuss that too. And then your approach, that in future, what solutions or what can be our approach? Futuristic in approach, solution oriented, right? And then at the end, you will give a concluding statement. Include some quote, some good line. Will you summarize everything in that particular impactful line at the end and you close your essay? Right? Yes, are we clear here? Now, in this entire process, you have to remember one thing I've already told you: no points. Use innovative headings only if you're using, and don't go overboard that in your entire essay of 5 pages you have 10 headings. Just 2 or 3 here and there. So use innovative headings only if you are using it, right? If you're not using it, it's okay. Without headings also, it will work. Then underline keywords, very important. As you write, please keep on underlining the keywords. No diagrams or flowcharts in essay. Use different paragraphs for every cause, but just connect with in addition to this, moreover, firstly, secondly, thirdly, like this. You have options for that. So it's not necessary to write all causes in one paragraph. You can just distribute into 3-4 paragraphs if you have. Again, it depends upon your writing style, how you write it. Probably 2 causes in one paragraph, other 2 in next paragraph also. Your wish. So no introduction, the starting point you are talking about, probably half page or something. Focus more word limit for body of the essay. No, 800 words is the essay only. So 100, 120 words are more than enough. Yeah, conclusion also. Maximum words, right? So say if it's 800 words, so your 550 to 600 words should be in the body of the essay. Rest distribute amongst your introduction part and the conclusion part, right? At least 400 words should be there. At least. Try for 500, 550, but at least 400 words in the body of the essay, right? Okay. Now, no diagrams, no flowcharts. Then you have to make sure that connectivity between different paragraphs. We will understand this point more when we'll discuss essays in the class. Connectivity between different paragraphs. Transition words I have given you. Apart from that, add more transition words, right? Then support arguments with examples, data, and quotes also. In between your essay also you can use quotes. Right? Now there is a website known as Better India. Now this website contains positive news always, right? It will not carry crime news, etc. So good examples you can get from here. Quotes also, make your own notes, some politics related, some environment related good quotes, civic awareness related. Like this, you can prepare some short notes. Rest, anyhow, we will be discussing in class only. Right? Yes, are we clear here? How many pages we have to write? See, it's 800 words. Depends upon. See, some people have very big font size. Some have smaller. Some give very large spaces. So number of pages I can't tell you. Depends upon your writing style. How big is your font size? How much spacing? Some people have very cramped up handwriting. In one line, they'll write 15 words also. So for them, it's different. So don't count on the number of pages, but one thing you have to remember, in your state exams, your structure is important, but content is also very, very important. Right? In, say for example, if you have been preparing or if you are looking to prepare for UPSC, their structure is the king. Even if you have the best content in the world and if you write it in a here and there manner, you will not get marks. But in these exams, structure is important. Again, they have already given you order, etc. But still, content is still the king. Right? Still, they will see how many pages. Right? This is there, and even if you deny it that no, filling of pages doesn't matter, they look at it. So when you are looking at 800 words, rest depends upon your writing style. 800 words will be in around 4 to 5 pages, I feel, in normal writing setup, because I know about UPSC, it asks you 1000 to 1200 words. There it is around 8 to 9 pages. 8 to 9 pages means 1 and 2, like this. So here 5 to 6 pages will be there. Rest, you write one essay, count the words, so that you have an idea that once I am moving on to this third, fourth page, my this many words will be getting over. So you have an idea. Don't breach the word limit. And anyhow, if you breach the word limit, you will compromise with your next essays. Essay marks are always cumulative of all the sections. So even if one essay you write of the wonderful quality and other essays are of bad quality, marks will get just added. So what happens is you are left confused. But I followed the structure, everything was fine, I didn't get marks. So it means probably structure is no. Time management was the problem. Structure worked, but just worked for one essay because you just wrote one essay nicely. Rest, you just got probably 15 or 10 marks out of 50. We have to aim 35 to 40 marks at least to get a good score in every essay. Because if essay is something, you don't have to read multiple books. Best thing about essay is this only. Your knowledge is coming from GS only. You don't have a set syllabus that, okay, you have to read this book also, this book. No, it's not like GS. It's about practice, it is about your writing skills, how well you weave a topic, how well you start, how well you end. That's it. It's writing skills, purely writing skills. So, very less effort here, right? Even if you write 5-10 essays, you will get good marks. An essay gives a lot of boost to your marks. It's a low hanging fruit. You don't have to read much for it. You don't have to waste much time for it. Today we have discussed the approach to your essay. Directly now we will start writing essays. Simple. I don't have to cover any syllabus or something. We just have to focus that we cover each topic which is given in the syllabus. We try to attempt each type of essays, and then we further build it upon in the next whatever 7 to 8 days we have for essays, right? Okay, now just let's see one essay topic. I'll give you just today, I'm not giving much time for brainstorming because we've just started. And one more thing you can do is, because you're giving a state exam, try to collect AP specific examples, right? Collect documents from the government publications, right? Some news related specifically to AP. Because if you write a news from Delhi or Jharkhand, that is not wrong. But you are preparing for your state exam. If the examples, the evidences are more AP based, more marks you will be getting. Even in any GS subject, even if you're doing ethics, even if you are doing any kind of subject, governance also, if you put in something from AP point of view, marks will be automatically more. It means examiner to examiner it is conveyed you are well versed with your own state. You keep an eye on your state's happening. Right? So here AP related examples are important. If you're writing UPSC, obviously you will write on a holistic manner what government of India is doing or probably some other states. Here, if answer is or essay is having examples AP specific, more marks will be there. Let's just look at one topic. I'll just give you few minutes to discuss, brainstorm it, then I'll discuss the way you will be moving forward with this. Right now, do you agree that electoral reforms do you agree that electoral reforms are key to do you agree that electoral reforms are key to cleansing Indian politics? Do you agree that electoral reforms are key to cleansing Indian politics? Question mark. So this is a socio-political related essay related to your electoral politics. Think for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. Then I will discuss about it. Try to generate dimensions that when if it is talking about electoral reforms, what kind of points I can include in this essay, how can I start this essay, and what dimension, how do I close it? Yes, have you thought about the essay? Yes. Okay, first of all, tell me how can you start here? Yes, anyone. Anyone has any idea that if the topic is this or anybody has written anything? Because topic is about electoral reforms. Yes, anyone? Okay, you can write this. Sorry? Okay, yes. Sorry? Yes, SIR context also you can write down, it's in news. Yes. Anyone else? Anecdote about? Yes, TN session is, associated with one person who has brought most electoral reforms in India. And in fact, you can write about this in historical background also. Historical background of your electoral reforms in India. There have been so many committees. TN session has been there, model code of conduct, your EVMs, right, or electronic sweep. All these are electoral reforms. So historical background, you can talk about this. Anything else with respect to introduction? Yes. Sorry? Okay, you can write about this. Anything with respect to AP also, if you can remember, you can start with that. Any quote, if you remember? Yes, anyone? Quote with respect to elections. Anyone? So, quote which you can write here is that Abraham Lincoln has said ballot is more powerful than a bullet. Now, mind you, even if you write a quote, even if you start with a quote, again you have to give some context here. You cannot just directly jump to historical background, right? Again, also you write down about the importance of elections, and not just elections, free and fair elections. You can write down how they form bedrock of the democracy. So, little bit of context like this about the election process, you can give it here, or you can even write an anecdote. Just write the start so that you have an idea. Write a paragraph here. The ballot is powerful than the bullet. The ballot is powerful. The ballot is more powerful than a bullet. This timeless idea, this timeless idea this timeless idea captures the essence of democracy. This timeless idea captures the essence of democracy. Put a hyphen. That the true source of political power that the true source of political power lies in the hands of people. 4 o'clock? 4:30? Okay, just 2 minutes. Lies in, did they tell you 2 to 4 or 2 to 4:30? 4:30, right? It's 2 to 4:30. Chalo, anyhow, today we'll manage, rest we'll do tomorrow. Write on quickly. Power lies in the hand of the people. Elections are designed to translate the elections are designed to translate the sovereign will of elections are designed to translate the sovereign will of people into representative government into representative government. Full stop. However, increasing election However, increasing election malpractices has weakened public trust in political process. Weakened public trust in political process. Full stop. This has made electoral reforms this has made electoral reforms not merely a matter of this has made electoral reforms not merely a matter of administrative improvement not merely a matter of administrative improvement but a democratic necessity but a democratic necessity, not merely a matter of administrative improvement, but a democratic necessity. So, this is a small context which you can give along with the quote which we have discussed. Now, tomorrow I will give you another set of introduction in the form of a story, a short story which you can again instead of this you can write that particular thing. So we'll continue from tomorrow. I was told it will be till 4:30 p.m. So I'll just clear things out. But tomorrow again classes at 2 p.m. Thank you.